Hey guys, this is Coach Tim with Independent MMA in Noonan, Georgia. Today I'm going to go over some techniques to help you punch harder. I get asked a lot of times in my fighting career, I got a lot of knockouts. More than 70% of all my fights were knockouts, and probably all my wins, but 2 were by way of knockout. So I know a thing or two about punching hard. So we're going to break it down. There's several steps, but one thing I want you to focus as you practice this, that is technique over raw power. The more technique you have, the more you can use your raw power. I want you to think of your raw power a lot like horsepower. It's great to have, but if you do not have wheels, tires on the ground, your car goes nowhere. So it's really important you practice your technique and then you sprinkle in your raw power. So as we're starting here, it's really important that one of the biggest lessons about power when I'm throwing a straight, which most of your power should come from there, is it's at the end of my punch. It's really important. I don't want to be crowded, and I sure don't want to miss. It's really bad for your elbows and shoulders. So as I come in, same stance, guys. Hands up around your temples, elbows in tight to protect that body, and I squat down. I get heavy. So it's really important that my weight is centered. I'm not loaded up on my lead leg for someone to grab or to kick, and I'm not loaded up on my rear leg for someone to grab or kick the front leg. I want to be centered. That way I can move. That way I can defend, and then I can hit really hard. So as I'm here, I'm focusing up at the end of my punch. As I throw this punch, guys, the power starts from my toe. As my toe turns, my knee turns down. My hip starts to move. As my hip starts to move, the shoulder lets loose. And at the end, it's hand. So it starts with my toe, knee, hip, shoulder, hand. Again, toe, knee, hip, shoulder, hand. So when I put it in perspective, throw it in power here too. And I always find it right back to my chin. It always starts at my toe. Same concept. If I'm going to throw a lead hook, which is probably my most powerful punch, and a lot of fighters, right-handed fighters, their left hook is their most powerful punch. It's the same thing. As I turn to load up my left hook, it starts with my toes. Toes, knees, hip, shoulder, hands. Toes, knee, hips, shoulders, hands. So I throw it real speed. It's the reason your toes, knees are so important, because that's what causes your hips to fire. And a lot of this technique, you'll see a lot of the high-level guys, they don't do the toes and knees as much. It's because they've already mastered their hip motion. The hips are the most important part. So if I'm throwing 2 hard punches instead of 1, I automatically get a load. So if I'm throwing my right hand, my left hip is forward. So it automatically loads my right hand for a hard punch. If I throw the left hook behind the right hand, notice how my left hook is already loaded up. So I'm already in a very great position to throw hard and fast. And 1 punch, easier to block. 2 is not. Then the more you add, the harder it is to block. So the more you can get using your technique, the more likely you're going to be able to throw powerful punches in succession without being off balance or missing. So if I want to throw like a cross hook cross, I was able to use my hips. So as you go through this journey of trying to punch harder, remember it's technique. A lot of people can hit hard without technique, but they're going to sacrifice their balance. They're going to sacrifice speed, energy. So it's really important, no matter how hard you hit naturally, and I hit hard naturally, I've had to slow down and focus on the technique to make sure I hit hard, I hit correctly, and I can continue to do it. Because no matter how hard you can hit naturally, you can always add technique to it to make it better. Guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to help. Have a good day.